From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
Ants Meats and Grocery is much more than a grocery store. We carry a full line of quality meats, local and organic vegetables, and a large variety of fish, Green Mountain Smart Control pellet grills, and a full deli case of sandwiches and side dishes.
Well, good morning, everyone. Just a quick reminder that I've got a free Weather NorCal app. If you've been watching Weather NorCal, if you've been following Weather NorCal for a long time, and you haven't downloaded the app, I guess my question is, why not? Check it out. It's a free app. Go to your App Store or your Google Play Store and search for Weather NorCal. Download the app for free and everything that I offer. You're watching my video update, right? It could be from your phone, and that's where you can do it. Of course, you can watch it from the website and all. Of course, you know where you can watch it from, but you can also watch it from your phone. You've got the neighborhood forecast, current temperatures, radar, special programming such as NorCal Ag, Turtle Bay Wonderful World of Animals, the works. It's all there and right from your phone. So be sure to check that out. It's a free app. It's free. I mean, you can't beat that price. There's a dense fog advisory this morning, so just be prepared for the fact that you're going to have to give yourself a little bit of extra time on your morning commute because there is going to be some patchy, dense fog out there. We're talking about a quarter mile of visibility or less. Now, when we look at the overall trend of this fog, it is anticipated to dissipate. But even as we go into the 8 and 9 o'clock hour, there is still going to be some dense fog out there. And it looks like the most dense fog is on the north end of the valley. But you'll notice as we go into the noon hour, most of that fog should be gone. Now, I would like to kind of just mention that last week we saw the same type of situation, and it really didn't clear out in some areas. So I'm going to continue to watch this here through the morning and see how quickly it does decide to kind of burn off. But be prepared for the fact that there may be some areas that may be socked in with fog for quite some time here through a good portion of the day, even into the early afternoon hours. We'll see, but for now it looks like it may clear out. So again, there's that morning fog. And now there could be some patchy mountain fog in there as well. But we've got another round of rain heading our way as early as tonight and into tomorrow. Now, it doesn't look like it's going to be quite as heavy as the rain that we saw over this past weekend. So the threat for flooding is not as big, but we still have to keep an eye out for that. So it's going to be some minor flood threats out there. There still could be the potential for mudslides and debris flow. So again, just be aware of that. Now, we also have more wet weather going into next week. So off and on rain through this week. And then going into next week, it looks like we've got more wet weather in the forecast. So this off and on pattern looks to stick around for a while. So here's what it looks like today. Of course, you got the fog this morning in the valley. Most of us should burn off before or right around the noon hour. Some fog in Siskiyou County, Modoc County as well. And there could be some patchy fog for some of us in the eastern mountains as well. We take a look at the north coast, and there you can see the mostly cloudy skies, maybe some fog for some of the inland areas, and not to mention Trinity County as well. So some of that patchy inland and not to mention mountain valley fog. All right, so let's take a look at the satellite big picture here, and you can see this is the next round of rain coming in. So this is the break that we have in store for us today, but it's not going to take long for these clouds to move in and eventually bring us some rain as well. So here again is the big picture. Tonight and Wednesday, that's the system right here. Here's the atmospheric river to the south of all these storms. That's what these storm systems are tapping into as far as a moisture source. So Thursday, I expect there to be a bit of a break, mainly dry conditions. And then Friday, there's Friday and quite possibly even into Saturday's system. This will also tap into that subtropical moisture, which, by the way, this is going to point more in this direction, but it won't aim itself and park itself over us. But what it will do is kind of go up in this direction here. And again, as this storm system develops and moves eastward, it will still have this source of moisture to bring us more rain by the end of the week and quite possibly beginning of next weekend. So there you can see again that fog this morning, but it does look like it does dissipate. So by around noon, you've got the mainly sunny skies, especially for parts of the valley. And then there you can see, we'll call it partly cloudy skies for most of us through the afternoon, especially in the mountains. But here we are, midnight tonight. We're beginning to see maybe the chance for some sprinkles, light showers, heavier rainfall just beginning to hit the coast at this point. Now, through the early morning hours, that's when we expect the heaviest rainfall for the coast. By about 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, now we're seeing the heavier rainfall making its way into the valley. And it could be heavy at times, I think, for some of us, not to mention the winds picking up a little bit as well. But by noon tomorrow, This is a quick moving storm system, and that's why the flood threat is going to be much slimmer, because it's a fairly fast moving storm system. So yes, we get that period of heavy rainfall, but then it moves out pretty quickly, because by noon, yeah, some scattered showers out there. By the way, snow levels may be just a tad lower, maybe around 5,000 feet, which is probably good news for the ski park, right? There gets to 5 p.m. Wednesday. Again, it's starting to dry out. Now we look at Thursday. We'll take a look at Thursday morning. Once again, I think we're going to see some of that fog in some areas, especially for the Sacramento Valley. That may linger on into Thursday morning, but I do expect drier conditions for your Thursday. So this is what I was talking about for rainfall totals. We're just not seeing a ton of rainfall across the board. Yeah, we could pick up a quarter to a half an inch in the valley, and pretty much the same here for the North Coast, and still seeing decent amounts, considering off to the north and east. So these types of numbers don't really pose a big threat for flooding. But keep in mind, if you get a heavy downpour for even just a brief period of time, mudslides and debris flows can be one of the bigger concerns there. All right, so here's a look at the forecast snow totals. Once again, I think Futurecast has been kind of overdoing it on the amount of snow that Chester is going to see, but with lowering snow levels, and I say that again down to about 5,000 feet, we could be looking at a mix for Chester, Alturas, and some of those elevations at about 4,500 feet, or mainly 4,000 feet and above. So Mount Shasta City, yes, rain. Bernie, rain. Shingletown, rain, but places like Viola, Upper Shingletown, yeah, you're looking at potential for at least a bit of a mix. Take a look at the ski park just for fun. There it is right there. So we're getting in these blues here. Yeah, anywhere from maybe 4 to 8 inches of snow. If we can keep it all in the form of snow, again, it's going to be that borderline here, but we are seeing those snow levels drop a little bit. That should help support more in the way of snow for the ski park, but that's not guaranteed. Again, it's kind of that borderline. Here you can see the winds today and even into tonight aren't going to be an issue. Now, as the system passes through late tonight, tomorrow morning, I think the winds will pick up, especially along the coast. Typical places in central Siskiyou County for Shasta Valley. And maybe a little breezy here for the valley tomorrow morning. But then as we go into tomorrow afternoon, those winds should start to die down. Still a little gusty though for Shasta Valley. And then by Thursday, a little breezy in some spots here, but again, not a major wind event, even as the strongest winds pass through. Here's the long range. Remember I was talking about how it's shifting from this direction now up this way. So that atmospheric river is now pointed more towards the Pacific Northwest. However, the flow, and you think about just kind of running parallel. So the storms typically in the moisture and the clouds kind of run, for the most part, parallel to these lines. So it's kind of acting as like a steering mechanism, if you will. So all of this is moving off to the north. Now the thing is, the ridge of high pressure is in place, but it's stronger to the south, and that's why it's dry there. So we just have to push this energy a little bit more to the north, and we're dry. But we do have Friday and even into Saturday some of that rain moving in. But look what happens as we go into Sunday, Monday. The ridge of high pressure builds in stronger, so I do expect dry conditions Sunday as all the energy is being pushed up to the north. Now, some models bring in the next chance for rain after that as early as Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. So I've got the chance for showers by next Tuesday and Wednesday, but it may take a little bit longer than that. But the precipitation outlook going into early next month has us really even good portions of California seeing a decent amount of rainfall, with, of course, that temperature outlook still fairly high, keeping those snow levels high. There is a beach hazard statement through noon today, and I've mentioned this before, and I'll, of course, mention it again. It's not a good idea to hang out on the beach. You know, it looks okay, and then suddenly a big rush of water, a wave comes in, it can sweep you from under your feet, and it's a very dangerous situation. Do not turn your back to the ocean today. All right? It's not a good idea to do that in general, right? But especially during these beach hazard statements, you need to be extra careful. All right, so here are your wave heights. Taking you to this afternoon around 10 feet. We'll probably see a slight increase tonight. But there you can see as we go into tomorrow, it's staying the same. We're not seeing much variation in those wave heights over the next couple of days. There are your winds for today out of the west at 5 to 10 knots. They will be building though. You can see here, starting off at west at 6 feet 11 seconds, and then eventually up to 17 seconds. And there's your high and low tide, your sunrise and sunset, and there's a small crash advisory for this afternoon into this evening. Here's your Trinity County neighborhood forecast. Of course, you got temperatures today in the low 50s for the most part, right? You can see snow levels 5,000 back up to about 6,000 feet by Friday and Saturday, drying out possibly. Looks like a good chance of drier weather by this upcoming Sunday and next Monday. Your North Coast neighborhood forecast, temperatures in the mid 50s, give or take, with 57 degrees for Smith River, 55 for Crescent City, 54 degrees for Oric, and there's Trinidad with a high of about 55 degrees. Here's your Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast, and there you can see Happy Camp about 53, 50 degrees for Fort Jones, and 47 degrees for Etna. Some have asked, you know, you put Ashland on the map here, but you put my little tiny community not on the map. Well, here's the thing. The space is there. It's available. Why not? I know a lot of people go up to Ashland for a vacation, and that's a good source of information for you. All right. I know this is Weather NorCal. It's all about Northern California, but we do have our neighbors not too far from us that probably would appreciate a little bit of attention as well. And on top of that, like I said, many of us go up north of the state line there and vacation. All right, so I just wanted to mention that because I know I had a couple of comments about that. All right, let's take a look at Modoc County. There you can see Tule Lake about 45 degrees. There's Fort Bidwell with 41, Cedarville 41, and Eagleville about 43, Aden 45 degrees. Taking you southward, and I have included it. I did have a request, and I was able to make room. And I want to mention this because sometimes some of these very small communities would like to see that attention. And I got to tell you, I wish I could put every single tiny little town on the map. We just can't do it. Look at the map. It gets cluttered very quickly. I was able to make enough space where it's not too tight to put Viola in there. And you know what? It certainly makes sense because as you go into Lower Shingletown, you're at a lower elevation. You go into Upper Shingletown, near Viola, you're at a higher elevation. So you're going to have variances in those temperatures here. So yeah, cooler in Viola, but Central Shingletown at 3,500 feet, 53 degrees. All right, so just kind of a little side note there. Let's take you to your valley neighborhood forecast, taking you to the south portion of the valley, at least our viewing area. And this is, of course, brought to you by Haas Farms. Those temperatures, now, here's what I'm going to say about the temperatures. If the clouds clear out as expected, I think we'll easily get into the low 60s this afternoon. However, if the clouds stick around longer than expected, then I think we'll struggle to get into the 60s. So these temperatures today are all going to depend on what this morning's fog decides to do. So the morning fog again going into your Thursday, and then Friday more showers going in at least the first half of the day on Saturday. Maybe by Saturday afternoon, Sunday, Monday, we should dry things out and warm things up too. Look at that. We're in the mid to upper 60s by Sunday and Monday.